What's going on, guys? Just finished up a fun one here. So this is my new X agent. So this has basically completely automated my entire, X Twitter account, whatever you'd like to call it. And it's a really simple flow. The idea for this came from the Vibe marketing community. So if you guys are not in that already, hop in it down below. You can also check out all the daily agent ideas that we are coming out with on a daily basis. So if you're not signed up for that as well, go ahead and check that out now. But to just take you through this simple node. So ideally, we have two different options here for scheduling the post initially or posting on demand. I quite honestly like the posting on demand side of things. Scheduling feels, not only does it come off as feeling kind of forced with some tweets, I feel like the algorithm picks that up. But on demand posting is kind of like, if I'm on the app, I like something that I see, want to maybe chime in or have, in this case, AI do it for me, I can just activate it. So that's kind of our scheduling mechanism here. Getting into the actual configuration, this is kind of where the money is made. So if we hop into this configurator, we're basically calling on three different fields here. So we have our niche, our style, and our inspiration. As you can see here, in each string we have a system prompt that I have developed for each one based off of a Claude response here. So basically, looked up in Claude a couple different prompting options for this. As you can see with this one, we have kind of my updated styling. So yeah, I played around with these a little bit over in Claude and then imported them into N8N here. And by imported, I mean I just copy and paste them. I also really love a couple different tweeting styles, tweeting styles from different folks on Twitter that I follow. So I input a couple examples into the style section for how I kind of want some of the tweets to come out. And then as well as my inspiration, again, threw in a couple different influencers and contributors in the AI tech space that I really like, because most of my content, as you know, is really dedicated around AI. So that's really what we're doing here, and we're just inputting these fields. If we could just run this quick test example, you'll see that we're just getting an output. So we're simply using this node anyways to just get an output of what our niche prompt's going to be, our style prompt, and then our inspiration prompt. From there, we can get into actually generating the tweet. We're going to be using ChatGPT 4.0 Turbo. This has been an interesting one. You can definitely just use regular ChatGPT 4.0. That's probably going to be your best bet, but I've been messing around with Turbo. It's working fairly well so far. So we have an initial system prompt here. Very simple. You're a successful modern tweet influencer. Your tweets always go viral. Whoop, whoop. And then this is kind of where we get a little fun. So with these system prompts now, we can actually call upon our JSON over here. So we, typically whatever we're looking for here, we'll actually just drag that over into whatever we're calling, which is really, really, convenient and simple. And that way, when ChatGPT actually goes to, search up this information, it's using, the information previously in our database to configure the styling, the messaging, and more specifically even the topics, which is really cool. So that's how we generate the tweet. And then we're just using a simple true and false statement to regulate it based off of, the amount of characters. If it's greater than 280 in this case, we're just not going to send it through. So that's just a little too much. We don't want to put out too much rhetoric. And then we'll post the tweet. This is where things can get a little bit tricky for folks. You will need your Twitter API credentials, which I don't want to show it on the screen just because it's sensitive with that API key. But essentially all you need here is, I believe, I think it's they either call it your user token and then user secret, or it's something very similar. In fact, we can actually probably set up, another one here. Let's actually go and see what they're calling this. So yes, they're calling it the client ID and the client secret. So these are in your, X API developer. So actually just look up X developer. And if you have your account, it's completely free. You can just set this up and then you're good to go. So we're going to run this now. And I'm, using this on kind of a daily basis to really, keep my audience updated on the latest AI content, AI tools, business ideas, because I tend to really play around with a lot of different, business ideas, in regards to AI. So I think initially, how would I add on to this in the future is probably just having, maybe a Google sheet that, is also included in GPT's pool of information. that maybe has some of my personal notes, or actually calls upon other tweets that I've already made to kind of build ideas together. But ideally, I'd probably just add like a note sheet to make this even more powerful. But this gives you the ability to tweet 24/7, guys, which is just awesome. So we're going to take a look at my X account now. Here I am, 700 followers. That's so cool. Wow, we just passed 700. And now under this pin one, we are just going to run this. So we're going to execute this flow. And I'll actually pull this down in real time so you can see it come in. Oh, it worked successfully. And now let's see it come on to Twitter here. Go ahead and just refresh this. And 14 seconds ago. I don't think you understand the game has changed. This year, small businesses automate 40% of the routine to AI. Task the kicker, they're not just Friday, they are performing giants. Future isn't small, big, it's automated. So, yeah, really cool stuff. I like, initially this is actually one of the similar ones that I had ran. Ideally, my organic content is still performing the best right now, which is okay. The other thing I'll just keep an eye on to make sure of, guys, is just that we are, I would say divvying up the length here a little bit on some of these tweets, but as you can see, it works literally perfect. So this is, kind of a complete guide to totally automating your Twitter. Let me know if you have any questions. If you guys actually want this exact flow, it is in my Gumroad account, so you can actually click down below. I should have a link there that says, get this agent. Then you can grab that agent there. If not, shoot me any questions you have and subscribe for more AI content. We're doing more AI productivity, business ideas every single day. So make sure to follow along, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.